Okay guys, it is 9 a.m. basically. I finally got that lug nut off and I'm going to jack this car up, remove the wheels, and start rolling. Let me show you that lug nut after 2 days worth of struggling to get it off. Okay, so my buddy let me borrow his Fender roller. I don't know how to use it, so I'm going to mess with it first before I really start doing anything. You need a heat gun too to soften the metal and to soften the paint so that you don't wind up chipping anything. There's a little piece of rubber here. This piece of rubber is probably going to wind up falling off because once you heat it, it has to get pretty hot. So it's probably going to fall off, but there's a little lip under here, and that's what you want to roll to make sure that your wheels and tires are going to fit. If you don't roll it, then you risk your tire scraping against this lip, and it's going to wind up gashing up your sidewall and probably ruining your tire and maybe scratching your wheels. I'm going to jack this up, take these wheels off, and start doing this. Okay, so this jack right here is actually a piece of shit, and when you go to loosen it to drop the car, it gets stuck until you give it a certain amount of force, and then it will break loose because this thing is just shitty. It dropped really hard on the jack stand, and I just decided to use my scissor jack just because it doesn't drop as hard as this stuff here, or as this guy here. So this thing sucks, and I won't be using it. Okay, so I also have to clean this surface here too, just so I don't scratch or chip anything. Okay, so I was gonna start this, but then I realized I have to let off my e-brake so that I can rotate the hub there. But if I let off my e-brake, I think the front is gonna roll, and well, I don't want that to happen because of that. So I'm just gonna jack this side up and take these off as well because I have to do the fronts. Let me get my dumb little scissor jack. What I don't like is that the scissor jack is clearly bending when I use it, and that makes me very nervous. Look at this difference. So what is this? This is a 255, I know that. And this one is a 225. I was just about to let off my e-brake, but then I realized that this is weighted and it's gonna fall and smash the floor. So I'm gonna take this off first. Okay, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of detailing spray on this area here just to clean it off and make sure nothing gets scratched. Oh yeah, this is dirty, man. That is disgusting. Okay, so I got a cord here for the heat gun. This is just something that I do just to make sure that it doesn't come unplugged. You just tie it around itself. Cool, it's already on. Just tie it around itself and it won't come unplugged. I'm just gonna set this up here to the right angle. You don't want anything that's too aggressive at first. You just wanna do like a slight bend. What's cool is that this barely fits. Well, let me keep looking at this and I will let you guys know. Okay, so I've been messing around with this for quite a bit now. It's definitely pretty nerve-wracking. It sounds like shit when you're doing it. Like all the dirt up in here is like, you can just hear it crushing and breaking, but it's just the dirt that you hear because naturally, you know, it's gonna get dirty up in there. I'm also sweating horribly, and the worst part about wearing glasses is that your sweat drips on it. But anyway, so what you want to do is you want to just heat the surface, but don't get it too hot. You just don't keep it on there for too long. You also want to heat this bend a lot right here because the paint might crack. Okay, so I think I got this fender pretty much done. The only problem I'm having is right here. The lip right here is still pretty wide. I can fit my finger behind it, but up here, it's folded like flush. As you can see that there's not really much of a lip left. And on this side, you can see the lip is massive. You could see the lip though, it's pretty big. I could fit my finger behind it. So the other one I think is good. I'm waiting on a message to see about that edge that I forgot about, or that I shouldn't say I forgot about, but I couldn't get to. Okay, so after some long, hot, sweaty, hard work, I think that I'm gonna call it quits for the fender rolling. The rear fenders came out pretty good. The front fenders came out pretty good. I didn't really do the front fenders too much, just because they tend to have a problem with the fender well falling out, the plastic little fender insert that basically protects your undercarriage from weather and debris and stuff. So I started rolling it and it started to fall out a very little bit, so I just kind of left it alone. The lip is really small anyway. It is rolled a little bit, so I think that it will do the job. If I do have to roll again, I will just roll again. It really wasn't that hard of a process. It was pretty quick once I finished the first wheel. It was very, very easy to do. So yeah, actually, I'll just show you what I did. I already showed you before, but I'll just show you how it is now. Okay, so upon doing this, I had no paint crack or no paint chipping, which is why the heat gun is used in the first place. I had the same problem on the other fender, where I couldn't get this lip all the way down. So it's actually on all four fenders. I think once you get to a certain point, there isn't really enough room to actually get under here, because the gap between your rotor and the fender itself is too small for the fender roller to fit. I looked up pictures and videos of people doing them, and I think that's just how they usually come out. But the lip is pretty well rolled. It's totally flat. There's no, I can't feel anything. But this is the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about, is this right here. I don't think it's going to be a problem. The reason that you roll your fender is because when you have a bigger tire, obviously it's taking up more space. It's also wider, so it pokes out just a tiny bit. And if you're going to be hitting bumps, and especially if you lower your car, you're going to have a spot, if you don't roll your fenders, where this lip pops out a little bit. And when you hit a bump or something, if it's deep enough or big enough, your wheel is obviously going to go up. And if your tire catches that lip, you're going to gouge out your tire and ruin them. So that's the entire purpose of fender rolling. But like I said, it was super easy. And once I figured it out on the first fender, it was self-explanatory. It didn't really take that long, to be honest. Okay, so now that is done, I'm just going to clean up the stuff here. But Tuesday, wow, the sun came back out, and look how damn light it is. Okay, so Tuesday the 9th, I'm going to have the old tires dismounted from the wheel to get the TPS out, the tire pressure sensor, off of the wheel, and to have it put on my new wheel and to have my new tires mounted as well. This is done, and I believe that they're ready to go. There shouldn't be a problem. And next Tuesday they'll go on. So you'll get that video the following week. So that'll be it. The car will be done for the season. Cosmetic wise, I don't really think I'm going to be doing much more to it. Maybe a bigger wing, but that's really about it.